Welcome to Campaign Terrain. I am your resident basement dweller, that guy Cross, and today we're going to be taking plain, unblemished styrene, both extruded and expanded, and hitting it with some acetone to see what it gives us. Nothing like a little controlled destruction. Welcome to Campaign Terrain. I'll be right back with you. Right, so let's jump into it. First we're going to talk about types of foam, and then we're going to experiment with the acetone on different foams to see what it does in two different methods. I'm going to spray some and I'm going to paint some on. So I've got three different kinds of foam here. They're all styrene. This is what everybody calls blue foam. This is 1 inch thick, that doesn't matter. It's got a definite grain to it. There's waves running this way, but the grain actually runs the other direction. There's grain to all of these, so that actually makes a difference when you start to put the stuff on it. This one, same deal. It's got a grain to it. This is also styrene, but this is what everybody calls the pink board or the purple foam. And then I've got some. These are both extruded polystyrene, and this is expanded polystyrene. This is your basic white styrene. The most common brand name is Styrofoam, and as you can see, it's the one with the little bumps and pebbles in it, and but it is also styrene. It should react to the acetone the same way. So that's the foams, and we're going to be using just a regular acetone straight out of the can. That's going to be this right here. This particular bottle I got for about $5 from Walmart, so it's readily available anywhere. And let me grab a dish to put the acetone in, get my breather mask on, and a brush to brush it on with, and I'll be right back. Okay, I've got my breather on for safety. I hope you can hear me. I'm going to do most of this without talking. I may end up having to do a voiceover on this part. Okay, these little brushes are the cheapy ones. I got this one at Harbor Freight. I don't remember what they're called, but they're like 36 in a package for like $4. They cost like nothing. So if the acetone eats it, I'm okay with that. Usually it's fine after, but just in case. Cheap brushes are good. Okay, as you can see, brushing it on is a pretty drastic job. You can create trenches You can create grooves. You can. It is possible to mask it off and create geometric shapes with it. As you can see, it's fairly drastic. It's more so on this, the expanded, the EPS, but it's used. You can do that with all of them. You can create pools where if you want to put like water effects and have like a puddle or something like that. And as you can see, it does about the same thing on each of them to slightly lesser or higher degrees. It's the most damaging to or altering to the EPS. The second most is the pink foam, and the blue foam seems to be reactant to it a little on a lesser level, but it is possible to get great effects with that. It's also possible to get different types of effects, so just make sure that you pick the specific foam that you want to use it on because they react differently. Now let me get geared up so I can spray some of these, and I'll show you on the backs of these, and I'll do a spray texture and show you how that works. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I have the mask on again, sorry about that. You'll notice I put some acetone in a bottle, labeled it for safety. I'm going to use this, make sure it's on spray, not stream. It's got a little adjuster right here, and I'm just going to spritz all these down. Interesting. It did a little bit there, but that's about it on the white. I'm going to spray it a little heavier and see if we can get some deeper results. I'm going to let these dry, then I'll come back to explain them to you. Okay, it's been a few minutes. These are dried, and let me show you. The spraying did not seem to do too much. Where the spray pooled, as you can see here, it did leave distinct marks, but only in the spots where it pooled deeply. This part right here is very brittle, so if I was to paint over it, I would lose most of the detail, or else it would be so brittle it would break during gameplay. So the spray on the EPS, the expanded polystyrene, unless you're really going deep and you want this texture gone and you want these little pieces caved in, that's not going to be your way to go. The pink foam, the purple foam, it's definitely softer. I can still feel some spots where it's soft, like on this little flap that was sliver over here. As you can see, right in here is the only place it really made much of a mark. There's a couple little droplets over here. So again, only where it completely settled in and pooled did it make any real damage. Now, on this one, I don't know if you can see here, but there's a slight sheen to the manufactured side of it, and the spritz did a pretty good job of taking that sheen off. But other than that and a couple or three holes here, it didn't really make much of a difference into the blue foam either. So spraying, if you want a heavy duty texture, is not the way to go. If you're just looking to weather something or have it look not new, spraying is probably a good option. Keep in mind that if you spray something that's vertical, everything's going to run down and pool at the bottom. So if you have it on anything that's going to be damaged by it, or if you're worried that the pool is going to damage the bottom and this will fall over, you're going to have problems if you paint something vertical that's already based. So yeah, I'm going to put these aside. Then I've got some sample rocks here that are my examples from another monolith rock build I'm making, and I'm going to spritz these and then brush them, and we'll take a look at what happens as I'm doing that. As you can see right now, there's some sharp cuts and things like that, and I'm looking to soften those up. I'm telling you now, because when we come back, I'm going to have my mask on again. So let me mask up, grab the spritzer and the paintbrush, or the acetone brush in this case, and I'll be right back. Okay, I've got my sample rocks for my project. These are just examples, so if I mess them up, I'm not worried about it. I've got my acetone here in the bowl so that I can use the paintbrush on it. I've got the acetone spritzer again, and I've got my mask, which I'm about to put on now, so you won't be able to hear me, but let's take a look at what's going on.
Alright, I'll be right back.
Okay, let's take a look at what we discovered in that round. I realized that I was spraying those much closer than I had the earlier ones. So as you can see, this does get a distinct texture in here. Now this might be a little much. I'm going forward with my rocks, so I don't think I'm going to end up using these. If I do this, I'm going to spray them up close, but far less. I think I spritzed these 3 times, maybe twice really heavily. I'm going to do maybe once on each side and move on. As you can see, it definitely got into all the little trenches, even when they were laying down, no matter which side was laying up or down. It created its own trenches and gathered in there. And even on the flat surfaces, it did distort a lot of that. So, as you can see, it made the same cracks we'd seen on the large block in the first section there. And so I really like how this works in a lesser amount. So I'm probably going to do this on my rocks for my build, just to a smaller degree. As you can see, if you don't hit it as hard like I didn't on this one, it distorts it, but it doesn't eat the section apart. Now, I was already planning on texturing these with my standard texturing method, which is using this pumice stone. I know a lot of people like aluminum balls, or aluminum foil. Those would work, but I just have had really good luck with this rock. So I'm going to show you. I've already done it here. The edges looked sharp like this still, even after spritzing. And so I took the pumice, you can also use the aluminum, and came along this side right here and right here, and it just softens up that line. I'm going to do a little bit more on each of these so you can watch. So, overall, I really like that. I like the spritz and then texture with the stone. I may also experiment with the texturing with the stone and then spritzing. So that looks like that's going to work out really well for my other build. Just to show you, this is the one we did before that had only had slightly distorted features after I spritzed it. I spritzed it one time, much closer. And I think that the issue with the spritzer is it's actually aerating and losing a lot of its strength before it hits the surface. So as far as I can tell, the trick is shoot it from close once and you'll end up with a pretty good texture that you can work with. So there you go. That's my experiments with acetone and styrene. I hope you found this informative. I'll be back with a small wrap-up, and then we'll send you on your way, but I hope you've enjoyed the video today. Alright, final wrap-up. Here's the flat sides. This is the one that I spritzed that was the expanded polystyrene, the regular white styrofoam style. As you can see, it even ate a little further in after we talked before. The acetone will keep eating until it dilutes itself in the styrene. Sorry about that noise, it's my phone. This right here is the purple foam, the flat side. As you can see, it only left the one little mark where it pooled. Again, I think that may have been because I sprayed it too far away. Here's the other one after I spritzed it closer. And again, here's the sides where I brushed it on. And one deep stroke here, here, and here. A smaller stroke here, here, and here. And a puddle here, here, and here. And then I hit the edges at here, here, and here. This is that piece that I did where I spritzed it extra heavy, and you see that it's widened those gaps quite a lot. That does make it look much more natural. I just don't prefer that large of a fracture in my rock. It looks like it should have already broken apart, so I'm not going to end up using that particular texture. Here it is if it's not spritzed as much. And here's that one where I only spritzed it once but up close, and I like the texture it left. And then I hit this one with the pumice stone here, and I think this is what I'm going to go with my stone builds. So I hope you've enjoyed it today, and once again, this has been Campaign Terrain. I'm your resident basement dweller, That Guy Cross. Keep up with us on social media, and look forward to seeing you the next time. Love y'all. Have a great one.